Good. Take a step back.
Those are already 2 steps.
Try. Pick it up. Keep going.
Those are already 2 steps.
That's a good throw. Ready? Good. Good. Last one. Take a step back. Nice. Throw. All right. Good. Thanks. Hey, Victor Media students. Didn't see you there. It's Mr. Clapp. We're outside today for our base games unit, which right now we're using baseball gloves and a baseball, but it could be softball, it could be a kickball. We've even used lacrosse equipment, frisbees in our base games unit. And with any of those pieces of equipment, you can do some simple throwing and catching activities to make it more successful for 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. That game that Connor and I were just playing is called Toss to Catch. One of my favorites, because if we just go out and start playing catch, I call it toss and fetch at our level. Students are usually throwing over each other or to people on the run or students on the run, and they're usually fetching the ball. And after we throw it, the ball rolls. We all just kind of stare at each other for 30 seconds, and then the ball finally comes back and it gets thrown over my head. So instead of throwing and fetching, we like throwing and catching. So that activity, toss to catch, forces you to start close, use proper form, and if you don't catch 2 in a row, you stay in the spot that you're in. You could also play it so that you restart back 1 step away at the 2 spots that we started at. It's totally up to you, but it's one of our favorites to make sure that we have the proper skill. Usually if you have the proper skill that myself and Connor were working on, especially with the catching piece, it forces you to think about treating the ball like an egg, using your glove like a basket, or a nest, to receive that ball softly. And again, you can do this with any piece of equipment, frisbee, lacrosse, kickball, soccer, softball, baseball, any of those, or football even, work very well. So again, every time you catch 2 in a row, take a step back. If you drop it, you just stay where you are, and then you can always have a set point to have the farthest point back to throw and catch from. So it's one of our favorites at the intermediate level. For kickball or soccer, we have the 2 spots out here as well. You can do it a little bit differently where you have to kick in between the 2 targets. So the targets start out a little bit wider from each other, and then as you get 2 in a row, or you can make it a little bit more, maybe 6, you move the 2 targets closer together. Mr. Smith had a great video earlier this week that showed our touch passing in soccer with the piece of tape on our instep. So you would do this activity the exact same way. Your partner would be on the other side. You're trying to aim through the 2 spots. If it goes through and your partner receives it and you get 6 or so, you can move the spots. I always say 1 spot closer together. So the width of a spot, I'd move it on both sides closer together. And then as we go along, the spots get closer and closer and makes it more challenging. We have to focus on, again, our accuracy and not just kicking as hard as we can and our partner chasing the ball. So those are 2 great activities, lead up and warm up activities for base games. We'll have more coming out later this week.